Secretary of the branch, CA Prashant Kumar. Learned speaker of today's session, CA Ramesh Pathuri. Senior members of the profession, respected past chairman, my colleagues in the managing committee, my dear professional colleagues, a very good evening to you all and welcome you all to this virtual seminar on today's topic, practical issues in GST refunds. Firstly, we the members of Visakhapatnam branch convey our heartfelt thanks to the speaker, CA Ramesh, for accepting our request and addressing the members of Visakhapatnam branch in short notice. So the GST refund process requires the taxpayer to follow elaborate steps, submit documents and declaration if required to the GST authorities for claiming a GST refund. The refunds under GST can be the cash balance in the electronic cash ledger, deposited in excess, or tax paid by mistake, or the accumulated input tax credit unable to be utilized for the tax payments due to zero-rated sales or inverted tax structure, etc. To facilitate the taxpayers, the government needs to provide a hassle-free refund process. An uninterrupted and adequate refund mechanism is essential for the tax administration. It facilitates trade by releasing the blocked funds for working capital, thereby assisting the business people in expanding and modernizing the existing business. With the second wave hitting the Indian companies massively, government has been closely focusing on resolving the various issues under GST refund. Recently, the CBIC had launched a special drive to clear all the pending refunds within a month. The said initiative was in line with the ongoing similar drives by CBIC for refunds under various other laws like customs, duty drawback claims, etc. Many of the registered taxpayers and the professionals has doubts about refund process under GST. For example, like clarity of time limit specified under law, supporting documents and their legal sanctity, eligibility for refunds under different scenarios, and clubbing of refund claims across financial years, a GST refund other than zero-rated supplies, or application, whether online or manual, so on and so forth. So many doubts in the minds of professionals as well as in the minds of taxpayers. So to enlighten about many other issues involved in GST refunds, we have learned speaker CA Ramesh with us today. I hope members will have a fair idea and knowledge about the GST refunds with his presentation by the end of this session. Now I request CA Sridhar Andavarapu to introduce the speaker of today's virtual session. Unmute cheyandi. Sridhar garu unmute cheyandi.
Good evening all. CA Ramesh Pathuri is a qualified chartered accountant in the year 2017 and is currently working as a manager at Hiregange and Associates LLP with Visakhapatnam branch. During his 4 years of experience, he dealt with various GST refund and audit assignments. He has written various articles relating to implications of GST on export industries. He has also contributed to a book called GST Audit, a handbook with a government perspective. With these few words, I introduce the speaker to the August gallery. Thank you, Chairman, for giving this opportunity.
Now I request the speaker Ramesh garu to proceed with his presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction. Good evening to all. Hope you all are safe. Today, I'm gonna share few of my learnings and issues I come across in dealing with GST refund assignments. Before starting this session, I should thank Mr. Murali Krishna Garu for giving me this wonderful opportunity, as it is my first session at ICAI. Thank you, sir. Let's go to the topic. We all know GST refund, initially GST refund was manual, now it become electronic. In between, department has issued number of circulars to guide and educate both department people and assessees. The department itself might have stuck in between those circulars. That's why they have abolished all the circulars and issued a master circular number 125 finally. So finally, if we need any clarity regarding refund issues, we can refer only one circular, that is a master circular. But keep in mind, though 125 is a master circular, still there were few circulars still active even before issuing of master circular. Those are not abolished till now. While referring, you should refer those circulars also in order to clarification, in order to clarify any specific issues. Refund is of various types: export with payment, without payment, SDG with payment, without payment, excess balance, inverted duty structure, like that. Today I try to cover one or two issues in each type of refund I come across during this last 4 years of my experience. First, we'll discuss about export with payment. As we know, export with payment is a best and easiest way of claiming refund. We don't need to do anything. We just need to file GSTR1 in line with the shipping bill and ensure EGM is filed. That's it. You can sit back and check your bank account. You will get funds within 10 to 15 days if everything went well. Export with payment, refund under export with payment is a fully automatic. There would be no manual intervention. If you file your GSTR1 and shipping bill, the GST invoice, export invoices will be transmitted to IceGate. In IceGate, there is one separate module for refund processing. That module will process your export invoices. While processing those invoices, that module will throw few errors based on our mistakes. First error, I'm just briefing the type of errors and course of action in such cases. First, it's not an error actually. SB000. That means your refund is successfully validated. You will get your refund. Next error, SB001. Invalid shipping bill details. While filing GSTR1, you would have entered incorrect shipping bill details. Next, SB002. EGM not filed. Your liner didn't file your EGM. SB003. GSTN mismatch. You have entered GSTN of one state in export to shipping bill, but you have filed that export, you have disclosed that export invoices in other GSTN. In that case, the system will throw SB003 error. Next, SB004, record already received and validated. That means duplication. You have once again entered the same invoice or same shipping bill in the GSTR1. Next, SB005, invalid invoice number. You would have entered invalid invoice number or date. If you enter wrongly, the system will throw SB005 error. SB006, gateway EGM not available. That means in case of exports through ICDs, once again we need to file gateway EGM at customs port. In case of exports through ICDs, we need to file two EGMs, one at ICD and other at customs EGM. If EGM at customs port, main customs port is not filed, the system will throw SB006 error. So SB001 to SB006, total 6 errors. In that, SB002 and SB006. In that case, if we come across that error, SB002 and SB006 relating to EGM filing, our course of action should be, we need to call our liner to file EGM as early as possible. Once liner file the EGM, your refund will be processed. Next, SB001, 3, 4, 5. If you come across these errors, you need to amend your GSTR1 to rectify the error thrown by the system. For example, SB001, invalid shipping bill detail means you need to enter the correct shipping bill details. Next, SB005, if you come across invalid invoice number, you need to amend your GSTR1 by entering the correct invoice number. So if you see this table, SB002 and 6 can be rectified through our liner, and remaining errors can be rectified through amending GSTR1. So all the errors can be rectified by the assessee itself. So if you see, customs has issued various circulars to help the assessees to for early processing of the refunds. Then all the errors can be rectified by the assessee itself. What's the need of circulars issued by the customs for the manual interface and processing of refund? If while filing you have filed GSTR 1 in line with the shipping bill, there is no issue. But while filing GSTR 3B, for a suppose you have disclosed export turnover and tax on export turnover in table 3.1A instead of table 3.1B. So if you do that mistake, the impact will be your export invoices won't be transmitted to IceGate. Once the invoice is transmitted to IceGate only, then the customs refund module will process your refund export invoices and will throw errors. The export invoices itself won't be transmitted to IceGate. In that case, possible solution is, if you have the equal amount of domestic tax liability in the next month, you can adjust the figures in subsequent month GSTR 3B. That means disclose the export to turnover in 3.1B. Domestic tax, you will have domestic tax liability in equal amount of domestic tax liability you will have in the subsequent month. Then what you should do, you disclose that domestic tax liability in 3.1A, 3.1B instead of 3.1A. That means vice versa mistake. If you do the same, your export invoices will be transmitted to IceGate. That is the possible solution which is in our assessee's hands. For suppose the assessee doesn't have the domestic tax liability, he has only export turnover. In that case, you need to file an application to the customs using that circulars. Customs has issued circulars to help the assessees. Based on that circulars, you can file an application to the customs. They will manually transmit your invoices to the IceGate. Next, you come across SB 005 error, invalid invoice number. You have rectified your GSTR 1, but what happened at the time of rectification also you did a mistake. Again, second time. So again you will throw error SB 005. Now you can't amend your GSTR 1 because one invoice can be amended only once in GST portal. You can't amend for the second time. In that case also you should file a manual application to the customs authorities. Next, you have issued one invoice as on 30th June 2021. On 10th 11th July, you have filed June month GSTR 1 and disclosed that invoice in GSTR 1. But actually what happened, export didn't happen by that time due to unavoidable reasons at the customs port. On 15th July 2021, the export is actually made. What your export team did is, your export team will amend the date of tax invoice. The original invoice dated 30th June 2021. Your export team amended the invoice date as 15th July 2021 at the time of actual export while filing shipping bill. Now you can't amend GSTR 1 by amending the date of invoice as 15th July 2021 because the return period is June 2021. The invoice date must be on or before 30th June 2021 only. The system won't take the invoice date as on after 30th June 2021. In such cases also, you can't amend GSTR 1. Then you can take the help of customs circulars. These are the possible instances where you can take the help of customs circulars. Remaining all errors can be rectified by the assessee himself. This is the export with payment. These are all the issues relating to export with payment I come across. Next, Next case is you have made one export. The export consignment has gone to your customer in USA. After going to the USA, the customer rejected our consignment due to quality issues. Now what we should do, what we need to do, we need to take back our consignment to India. That is nothing but export return. The export was actually made with payment of tax. That means we have claimed a refund on that export. Now the export consignment is returning back to India due to quality issues. The first question comes into mind is, do I need to pay back the refund claimed? No, no need of paying back any refund amount, but you need to pay IGST at the time of import at customs port. You can avail that IGST paid as input tax credit in GSTR 3B. Indirectly, you are paying back your refund amount and the electronic credit ledger balance is increasing to that extent. The impact is same, but there is no straight away payback of the refund amount is not there. Second question. The export consignment is returned. Do I need to disclose any credit note in GST returns? For issuing credit notes, section 34 deals with the issuing of credit notes. Under section 34, issuance of credit note is an optional. If we want to issue credit note, we can issue. Otherwise, we can simply issue. We can issue financial credit note to close the party's ledger. That is the option 1. We can close the customer ledger by issuing financial credit note. Next, you may get a doubt. If we close the party's ledger using financial credit note, my turnover, export turnover between books of accounts and GSTR 1 won't match. The department people will make this as an issue. If you have that fear, you disclose credit note in GSTR 1, no issue. But usually what we do, we will reduce liability against credit note in GSTR 3B in the normal cases. But in case of return export consignment, which was made with payment of tax, you are not supposed to reduce your liability in GSTR 3B. If you reduce your liability in the subsequent months, what will happen? Your refund for that month won't be processed. I will show you in tabular form the impact. For example, you have disclosed credit note in GSTR 1, no issue. While coming to the GSTR 3B, you are not supposed to reduce your liability. The first case is we are not reducing any liability against credit note in GSTR 3B. What will happen? For example, in April month, these are all the ITC and tax figures, not the turnover figures. Keep that in mind. For April month, my balance in electronic credit ledger 1000 rupees. I have made a tax payment of 500 rupees in that month. I have paid the same amount and I claimed the same amount, no issue. But coming to the May month, my export consignment is returned, which is valuing 100 rupees of tax, for example. In May month also, I have a balance in ECL is 500 rupees. For that month, I have made export to liability of 300 rupees in that month. But here I am not reducing the credit note liability. If I don't reduce credit note liability, I need to pay 300 rupees only. I will get 300 rupees refund amount. For suppose you have reduced your liability in GSTR 3B, in the second table you can see in May month, 100 rupees reduced and you have paid only 200 rupees. In that case, your liability as per GSTR 1 is 300 rupees and your liability as per GSTR 3B is 200 rupees for the purpose of system. So in that case, such export invoices won't be transmitted to IceGate. So your refund will be stuck. That's the issue in reducing liability against credit note. So what you do, option 1 is there. You can close the parties ledger by issuing financial credit note. No issue. You just need to convince your officer, jurisdictional officer, if he makes any issue in future. Next, option 2, if the officer is strict and if you feel that my turnover should match between books and GSTR 1, disclose in GSTR 1 turnover part, but don't reduce your liability. In that case, your export turnover will be matched, and your refund, you will also get a refund if you do in this way. This is one practical issue. Hope you all are clear. Next, in case of without payment of tax, you have made export without payment of tax. You are dealing in exempted goods. Actually, you need to claim refund only under export without payment of tax. You can't claim refund under export with payment of tax since your product is exempted. So no issue, I am making export without payment of tax for the whole year. But what happened, in totally I made 10 exports without payment of tax during the year, but in that 3 invoices were disclosed as export with payment in GSTR 1. That means while filing GSTR 1, I did a mistake by disclosing without payment invoices with payment under zero rate. So year is closed, the year ends on, and I need to claim refund of accumulated ITC now. Now, while filing GST refund, your export turnover as per system, as per GST portal is only in proportion of 7 invoices which were disclosed as without payment of tax, because you are claiming refund under option of without payment. System won't consider the such 3 invoices in which case you did a mistake as an export turnover. Such 3 invoices won't be considered for the purpose of computation of export turnover. Now, if you want to amend GSTR 1 by changing the with payment as without payment, you can't amend your GSTR 1 since with payment of tax export invoices can't be converted into without payment, can't be amended, because as per the system you have already claimed refund against such invoices. You will get that error. You have already claimed refund against the shipping bill or bill of export, hence you cannot amend that invoice. So you can't amend GSTR 1. Without amending GSTR 1, I will get refund only in proportion to 7 invoices. What I need to do? You can file refund in proportion to that 3 invoices under any other category. So total 10 invoices. In that 7 invoices were correctly disclosed under without payment. You can claim refund under without payment category, no issue. For the remaining 3 invoices, you need to file refund application under any other category only. Otherwise, you won't get refund under without payment category. I just tabulated the figures. For example, export turnover is 1000 rupees. Net ITC for that month is 100 rupees. Adjusted total turnover is 1200. 1200 means 200 domestic taxable supplies is there. Total 1200 rupees. So refund amount is 83.33%. For that means for the export turnover of 1000 rupees, I can get refund of 83.33 rupees if I wouldn't have committed any mistake while filing GSTR 1. But unfortunately, I did a mistake. Now, what I should do? Under without payment of tax category, you claim refund in proportion to 800 rupees. That is 800 turnover is correctly disclosed in GSTR 1. You can claim refund under without payment category. You will get 66.67 rupees. The balance 16.67 rupees you can claim refund under any other category. you can prepare the tables computations like in this format and you can submit to your officers. Anyhow, it will be difficult to convince tax officers. That depends on your knowledge level of your jurisdictional officer. This type of adjustments. Next, we all know under section 77, if we pay CGST, SGST instead of IGST or vice versa, we need to pay the correct taxes and we need to claim the wrongly paid taxes. In that, the issue was there, whether the assessee, where the assessee himself finds the error, he can do this, whether he can do the same or he can do the same only when the department people identified the error. So as per me, when as per section 77, as per the words used in section 77, if we strictly interpret, thus refund, claiming of refund and payment of correct taxes arises only when department identifies the error, not by the assessors or by the consultants. So in here, let's discuss the department. First case, the assessee himself identify the error. What you can do, you can adjust the figures in subsequent month GSTR 3B using circular number 26. You can reduce the, for suppose CGST and SGST paid in place of IGST. So now you need to pay IGST and you should reverse CGST and SGST liability. In subsequent month GSTR 3B, you increase the IGST liability and reduce the CGST and SGST liabilities from the liabilities of that month. Second case, if the department comes, you did an error in July 2017 itself, and after 3 to 4 years, department comes and identify the error. What department will say, as per section 77, you pay the correct tax and claim the refund of wrongly paid taxes. So as per the department's order, we will pay the correct taxes and we will file the refund application for the wrongly paid taxes. So when it comes to the refund officer, what he may say, your refund application is time barred. You should file, as per section 54, you should file refund application within 2 years from the relevant period. Relevant period is the due date of June month. So it's all, the time period is lapsed, your refund application will be rejected. Like that, refund officer will say. That is there is a possibility, but time limits prescribed under section 54 won't be applicable for the refunds under section 77, because the right to claim refund of wrongly paid taxes comes to the assessee under section 77. It is backed by the section 77. So no time limits prescribed under section 77. So based on that logic, the time limit is not applicable for refunds under section 77, but naturally your refund officer definitely will make this as an issue. Definitely they won't accept without any personal advantages. And recently one case law is there, Cosmol Energy Private Limited versus State of Gujarat. The same issue is dealt by that case law. What the court has held is that time limits prescribed under section 54 is applicable only in case of taxes and interest and penalties prescribed under GST Act. When you are paid the wrongly, when you paid amount wrongly, that's not a tax, that's not a interest, that's not a penalty as per GST Act. It's just a excess payment, wrong payment to the government. So no time limits applicable for those cases. Like that judgment has come. So you can use this judgment also. If you next, refund of interest paid on gross liability. So we all might have come across this issue. Since the inception of GST, everyone has a doubt whether I need to pay tax on gross liability or on net liability. So few assessees has paid on gross liabilities, few assessees has paid on net liability based on the consultant's opinions. So finally, Finance Act 2019 has amended Section 50 and notified with effect from 25th August 2020. And that Section 50 is amended retrospectively. So retrospective means from July 2017 only, assessees need to pay tax on net liability only. Now, whoever had paid interest on gross liability, what's their position? They can claim refund. So refund subject to limitation, the same issue comes again. So you can file a refund application within the time of 2 years from the relevant date. You should go to the higher levels to defend the case. Since the Section 50 is retrospectively amended, you have a more probability to win the case if you file refund application. So if it is within 2 years time period, there is no issue. You will get your refund without much difficulties. Next, interest and delayed refund. So if you file refund application, definitely it takes 3 to 4 months. But as per Act, it should be given within 2 months, 60 days. No refund will, no assessee will get refund within 60 days. Hardly 1 or 2 cases will be there in Vizag mostly. So as per Section 56, if you get your refund belatedly, you are eligible for the interest at the rate 6% for the delay. So if you, and in case of exports, the provisional refund should also be given within 7 days from the acknowledgement date. Even in that case also, you can claim interest. You can file refund application for the interest. So we have lot of case laws in excise regarding this interest. Interest is automatic. Rambaxi Laboratories Limited versus Union of India. It is said that interest is automatic in case of delay. And in other case law, it is held that this section does not distinguish delay which is intentional or delay which is unintentional. That means the department may say lot of reasons for the delay, but there is no scope for the escaping from the interest amount. But mostly no one will file refund for the interest, because getting a refund itself is a difficult task from the officers. If you file refund also, they may harass in subsequent refund applications. But my suggestion is, if you are filing refund application once in a while, no issue. But you are filing refund applications continuously, you will have refund applications regularly, monthly. Better file refund application once. Then in the department officers may process your refund application, future refund applications as early as possible. If once you file the interest application, they should also have some accountability now. Next, ITC refund on supplies made to SCZ. In case of SCZ refunds, recently I came across this issue. We have filed a refund application for the SCZ. What officer said is, we have obtained the DTA procurement forms as per the provisions, and we have uploaded the same. In DTA procurement, such DTA procurements were signed by the authorized officer. But if you see Rule 89, it prescribed specified officer. As per the SCZ Act, first see who is authorized officer and who is specified officer. As per SCZ Act, authorized officer means up to superintendent of customs level. Up to superintendent, he is called authorized officer. From joint or deputy or assistant customs, assistant commissioner, up to joint commissioner, more than superintendent, and up to deputy joint commissioner, he is called specified officer as per SCZ Act. But as per SCZ Act, all the DTA clearances will be done by the authorized officer only. Specified officer won't involve in those clearances. But coming to GST Act, the words used is specified officer. Now officer is saying we need DTA procurement copies signed by the specified officer, not by the authorized officer. That's the issue raised by one of the refund officer. So that's getting DTA procurement copies itself is a difficult task from the authorized officer. How we can get DTA procurement copies signed by the specified officer again? That would be difficult. We need to wait and watch how it will be impacted in future. Next, DTA procurement forms for bill to ship to transactions. Bill to ship to means, for example, SCZ, employees of SCZ are working from home due to this pandemic. Now SCZ wants to buy laptops and supply to their employees. They called for the quotations and selected one vendor and asked him to deliver computers at the residence of our employees and raise bill to us, that is bill to ship to transaction. In that case, who will issue DTA procurement copy? If goods are actually delivered at SCZ gate, the authorized officer will verify and will sign the invoice copy and he will issue DTA procurement form. The goods are not admitting into the SCZ. In that case, getting DTA procurement copies is difficult. So the vendor can't claim refund as he is making supplies without payment of tax, and he can't claim refund of accumulated ITC. In such cases, if ask the SCZ to pay taxes and ask the SCZ to claim refund under export without payment or export with payment category. These are all the few issues and latest amendments. Removal of refund by way of with payment of IGST option. Finance Act 2021 amended section 16 of IGST Act to the effect that everyone can't claim refund under export with payment of IGST option. We will notify specific suppliers who can claim refund under this option. That means from where the section is not yet notified and the government has not yet notified the specific type of suppliers and specific type of goods as mentioned and as prescribed. But once it is notified, everyone can't claim refund under this category. This will be a huge drawback for the exporters who are claiming refund under this option without much difficulties. Once it is notified, the drawbacks faced by the drawbacks that are faced by the exporters would be refund to the extent of invoices appearing in GSTR 2A under export with payment category. Till now, whatever the ITC accumulated without having impact on GSTR 2A, you can claim refund all the invoices, whether it is appearing in GSTR 2A or not. No need to check by the exporters till now. But if he comes to export without payment, he will be under pressure to check reconciliation with GSTR 2A. Next, GST and capital goods shall not be refunded. Under with payment category, he is claiming refund even on capital goods, but under without payment category, he can't claim refund on capital goods. Human intervention from GST department at various levels. Officers have their own style of verifying the documents. Last but not least, that is personal advantage. All these are the drawbacks for the exporters who are claiming refund under with payment till now, and who will not be allowed for that option once the Finance Act is notified. And preventive steps. If any exporter is planning to purchase the plant and machinery capital goods in near future, it's better to purchase immediately as early as possible before notifying that section. They can claim refund under with payment category. Prospective manufacturers who are all planning to start a manufacturing business and who wish to export the output, they need to consider input tax credit on capital goods as a cost in cost benefit analysis. Refund on SEZ supplies only for authorized operations. So they have amended section 16 to the effect that if you are supplying goods to SEZ for authorized operations only, it is covered under zero rated supply. Till now, whatever the supplies made to SEZ unit or developer is covered under zero rated supply. But once this Finance Act is notified, if you supply goods for authorized operations only, you can avail the benefit under zero rated. If you are supplying for other than authorized operations, you should charge tax. SEZ should pay tax. SEZ can claim refund under export category or any other category. What is authorized operations? That is a prone to litigation. Every operation is definitely relating to authorized operation only for SEZ. How determining of the authorized operations for every supply and for every invoice is a difficult task. We should wait and watch how it will be implemented. Next, issues contrary to GST Act. That means the circular has issued guidelines which are contrary against the statutory provisions. The rules and circulars should be framed in line with statute. It is just to implement the law. It can't go against the statute. So few of the rules and circulars goes against the statute. I have mentioned a few of those issues. Restricting the export value to the 1.5 times of the domestic sale value. In Rule 89 subsection sub-rule 4, the export to zero rated turnover definition is revised to include that your export turnover means actual export turnover or 1.5 times of the domestic turnover, similar sale. We are restricting 1.5 times of the domestic turnover only. Like that, the export turnover definition is revised under Rule 89(4). So, for example, I have made export turnover of 80 lakhs in financial year in April 2020. And in the same period, I have supplied the same quantity of goods domestically for rupees 50,000. So I have filed the refund application. Refund officer has used this weapon and issued a show cause notice or for clarifications that your export turnover would be restricted to 75 lakhs only. You can see here, we have filed a refund application as like this. Net ITC is 5 lakhs, as turnover as per us is 80 lakhs, adjusted total turnover is 1,30 lakhs. We can claim refund of 3.07 lakhs. Department's point of view, they will restrict refund to the 1.5 times of the domestic turnover. That is 75 lakhs. And they will say we will give refund only 2.88 lakhs. But after that, one circular has come and clarified when you are reducing export turnover from the numerator, you need to reduce the same. What is the export turnover you are considering in numerator? You need to consider the same export turnover in denominator. Like that, circular is clarified. If we use that circular, your refund amount would be 3 lakhs. That means export turnover is 75 lakhs. Adjusted total turnover will become 1 crore 25 lakhs, as 5 lakhs is reduced even from the adjusted total turnover. So whenever officer comes and say that your export turnover is more than 1.5 times of the domestic turnover, don't panic, because okay, let's you say only one thing. Okay sir, you just go ahead as per your calculations. The refund officer should reduce the excess figure from the numerator and denominator. If you reduce the figure from both the numerator and denominator, there won't be much difference. If you see here, I got 3.07 lakhs, here I got 3 lakhs. There will be minor difference. Due to that difference, we don't need to panic and don't need to do fights with officer. Let them. You just mention that circular clarification. You need to reduce both from the numerator and denominator. If they do the same, there would be no difference. Next, Mr. X purchased a huge quantity of sanitizers which are taxable at 18%. Suddenly, due to COVID-19, tax rate reduced to 5%. Now the credit remains unutilized in ECL and he wants to claim refund under inverted duty structure. It's clear. I have purchased the sanitizers 18%. I am supplying this same sanitizers at 5%. Therefore, I can claim refund under inverted duty structure as the ITC on inputs is higher than the ITC on, tax on inputs is higher than tax on output. So I can claim refund under inverted duty structure. But department has issued circular and clarified you are not eligible to inverted duty structure in case of traded goods. To cover under inverted duty structure, the input and output should not be the same as per the department's view. There is no restriction, there is no such logics in GST statutes. If your tax on input is higher than tax on output, you can claim refund under inverted duty structure. These are all the department's innovations. Surely it will be litigative. Next, and other issues is refund of ITC on input services and capital goods in case of inverted duty structure. In case of inverted duty structure, you can claim only ITC on inputs, not on input services and capital goods. In case of export without payment, you can't claim refund on capital goods. To make these rules, there is no restriction in GST Act. These are all the restrictions prescribed under rules only, which are contrary to Act and which are contrary to GST Act statute. Next, restriction of refund to the extent of invoices appearing in GSTR 2A. This is also contrary to GST Act. To this extent, the Finance Act is amended, that section 16 is amended, that invoices should be appearing in GSTR 2A also. Once that section is notified, it will have some, this rule, this last one may get some legal backup once that section 16 is notified as per Finance Act 2021. Next, Rule 9610, barring the exporters for claiming refund under export with payment category if he availed the benefits as mentioned here. If, for example, if he have claimed IGST exemption from IGST and compensation cess in case of purchase of goods in domestic market against advance authorization or EOU status. Next, EOU, STP, HTP imported or procured goods from warehouse. These are all the beneficial notifications 48, 78, 79 and 40. Based on these notifications, few specific persons, advance authorized holders, EOUs can claim exemption from the IGST compensation cess and customs duty. But what Rule 9610 is telling, if you get benefit under these notifications and claimed exemption from IGST and compensation cess, be clear, it is telling only if you avail exemption from IGST and compensation cess. That means you can claim exemption from basic customs duty under those notifications. If you claim exemption from IGST and compensation cess, you are not eligible to claim refund under with payment category. That is the summary of 9610. This is contrary to section 16 of the IGST Act. There are no such restrictions under section 16 of IGST Act. How the DRI is investigating these cases. Most of the EOUs and advance authorized holders has a claimed benefit under these notifications and went to with payment category. DRI is investigating these cases to avoid the disputes during DRI investigations. Better EOUs and advance authorized holders who have claimed IGST exemptions can pay back the same using TR6 challan at customs and avail the same as input tax credit. So that means the net impact will be you didn't avail any benefit under those notification. Refund of compensation cess in case of exports made with payment of tax. As per section 16 and section 11, if you are exporting goods and you have any input leviable to compensation cess, you can claim refund of that compensation cess, even though your output is not leviable to compensation cess. That is the input tax credit to you, and you can claim refund as per section 16 of the IGST Act. But circular department has issued one circular clarifying that you can claim refund of compensation cess only under export without payment category. You can't. When you opted export with payment category, you are not eligible to claim refund. That is a contrary to GST Act. To realize the amount for any bill or invoice in foreign exchange. To that extent, ITC refund has to be paid back. I made an export. I claimed refund. And at last, the foreign customer is defaulted and I couldn't realize the foreign exchange to India. In that case, what that rule is telling, you need to pay back the refund amount you have claimed. No such restrictions in GST Act. This is the restrictions prescribed under rules only. You need to pay back the refund in case of non-realization, and in future, if you realize such profits within the limits prescribed by the RBI, you can get that refund amount again. I have mentioned a few FAQs. Can we claim refund of accumulated ITC in case of receipt of export profits in rupees through PayPal? So we need to, in case of export of services, we need to submit FIRC copies as a supporting document. But where I am receiving profits through PayPal in rupees, I won't get any FIRC copies. In that case, can I claim refund? Am I eligible to claim refund? Yes, we can claim refund. But how to get FIRC copies in that case? PayPal, in PayPal website itself, you can apply for the FIRC copies by paying the nominal fee of 2000 rupees around. Other option is you can, PayPal has an account in Citibank. Actually, foreign proceeds will be received by the Citibank. Citibank will convert the foreign dollars into rupees and will be credited to PayPal account. PayPal will be crediting to customer account. So we can apply to the Citibank for the FIRC copies by referring the UTR numbers of PayPal. In some cases, export proceeds will be received through Wastro account. Even in that case also, we can claim refund. It is already clarified by the department circular only. In case of where you receive funds through Wastro account, you can claim refund. Even in the absence of FIRC copies. Next, are we eligible to claim refund if we didn't have LUT at the time of export? Yes, we can claim. Master Circular 125 itself mentioned that procedural aspects, procedural errors can't be barriers for the exporters to claim benefits. The department officers can condone the delay in filing of LUT. Even though you didn't have LUT at the time of export, you can file refund application. Next, Mr. X is exporting goods without payment of taxes and filed nil refund application mistakenly for financial year 1920. How to claim refund of accumulated ITC? In that case, that means the refund application for the financial 1920 will be closed. You can't reopen the refund application for the same period. In that cases, you just claim refund under any other category. This is already clarified by the circular. Mr. X is exporting goods under LUT and no refund of ITC claimed due to lack of knowledge. So Mr. X is exporting goods since the inception of GST, that is from July 2017. And now during April 2021, he realized that my accumulated ITC is 5 crores. What I should do now? If you file refund application under, you have exported goods till now under LUT, and if you file refund application under export without payment category, refund officer will reject the application by saying that it is time barred. You should file refund application within 2 years from the relevant date. In that case, what should I do? Simply, if you are dealing with taxable goods, start exporting under with payment category and claim refund of total accumulated ITC. There would be no issue. Next, is the time limit of 2 years from relevant date applies for refund of balance in electronic cash ledger. For example, I have started business in August 2017, and I think I will have the huge, my business will go strong and I will have the huge liability in near future. That's why I uploaded 5 to 10 lakhs in electronic cash ledger. But unfortunately, I don't have any business and there is no tax liability. I have waited for the 2-3 years. And now I claimed the refund application for the excess balance in electronic cash ledger. Now again, refund officer will say that you should file refund application within 2 years from the August of 2017. But now you are filing now. Your application is time barred. Like that, officer may say, he will say definitely. Most of the cases I come across. So as per the Act section 54, that time limits won't be applicable for the electronic cash ledger. And can we claim the refund of TDS credit after transfer to electronic cash ledger? Even in that case also, here officer is okay with the time limitation period, but his doubt is you are claiming a refund of TDS credit. How you are eligible for that credit? We won't give, like that he may say. Once TDS credit is transferred to electronic cash ledger, it is as good as our cash ledger balance. There is no concept of again TDS credit. You can claim refund. Refund officers, judicial officers may get all these types of doubts. Where ITC relating to 1920 availed in 2021. For suppose ITC relating to 1920 availed in September 2021 as it is last date to avail the credit. Now to reverse ITC under rule 42, which percentage I should use? We need to use the rule 42 percentage of 1920 only, not the rule 42 percentage of 2021 or September 21, because the ITC relating to 1920. Next, relevant date for claiming refund under inverted duty structure is changed from the previously before 1st February 2019. Relevant date to claim refund under inverted duty structure is the end of the financial year. That means if it is a 17-18, 31st March 2018 is the relevant date. If it is 18-19, 31st March 2019 is the relevant date previously. But with effect from 1st February 2019, it is amended as last date to claim is the due date for furnishing of the return under section 39. That means for July 2017, relevant date is 20th August 2017. Like that, it is amended. Everyone has a doubt that it is a retrospective effect or prospective effect. Since it is not specifically mentioned retrospective effect, it will be applicable prospectively only. That means for the up to Jan 2019, the relevant date would be 31st March 2019 for financial year 18-19. For February 2019, it is 20th March 2019. You can see here. For Jan 19, 31st March is the relevant date. For February 19, 20th March 2019 is the relevant date. So this provision will have only prospective effect, not retrospective effect. Last date to file refund application is 31st March 2021. The application is filed on 28th March 2021. And officer has issued deficiency memo on 4th April 2021. What is the time limit to file fresh refund application? Recently, Rule 93 and rule is prescribed under Rule 93. What it is saying, what is the time limit you had at the time of filing the original refund application? You will have the same time limit at the time of filing revised refund application against deficiency memo. In this case, I have filed refund application on 28th March 2021. That means I have still 29th, 30th, 31, 3 days time period. So deficiency memo is received on 4th April 2021. In this case, you will have the same time limit which you had at the time of filing original refund application, that is 3 days. That means now I should file refund application by 7th April 2021, 4 plus 3. Do I need to submit any physical documents to department for refund processing? No, no need to submit any physical documents. The entire refund processing would be electronic only. If you start giving documents to the officer, officer will ask your total financials and tally data also. Is SCZ can claim refund of accumulated ITC? Initially, there is an ambiguity and even officers also not allowed SCZs to claim refund, since all the supplies to you is zero rated only. Now, how you can claim refund? But there is no restriction under GST Act. Even SCZ can also claim refund under export without payment category or with payment category, is their wish. If you see, with effect from 14th November 2019, Statement 4A is inserted in rules. Statement 4A is for the SCZ. Where SCZ wants to claim refund of any tax, they can use Statement 4A. But anyhow, this is not yet notified and not made operational in GST portal till now. But this Statement 4A gives some clarity against the ambiguities that SCZ can also claim refund. There is no restriction in GST Act, but officers are under presumption that SCZ can't claim refund. For them, it is one eye opener, this Statement 4A. For computing export turnover, value to be considered is CAFR FOB. We are filing refund applications by as per our workings and as per our books of accounts, as per our GSTR 1. while verifying, while scrutinizing the refund application, officer what he will do, he will consider the FOB value as per shipping bill, since it is the export value, not the value considered by you, that is CAF or any other amount. Like that, department officers may make an issue. In my view, what value should be considered, CAF or FOB? Not C. That is the transaction. What is the transaction value as per section 15? You should see that may be CAF, that may be FOB, that may be any other amount. If it is a CAF export, it is a CAF value. If it is an FOB export, it would be an FOB value. If you incur any other amounts against in addition to the CAF value, you should add all those values also for computing the export turnover. If you see circular number 125, as per the circular what the circular is clarified, what the circular clarified is lower of invoice value or shipping bill value is to be considered. Okay, invoice value is there as per our tax invoice. Shipping bill, it mentioned shipping bill value. In shipping bill, you will have lot of values. So in shipping bill, FOB value would be there, CAF value would be there. If any other directions is there, that directions would be there. If you go to invoice details, invoice value would be there. What value should be considered in the shipping bill? That's not clear in that circular. Based on this provision only, the officers are considering FOB value as per shipping bill, since it is the lesser value and it would be beneficial to the officers to reject or to give deficiencies. New features were added in GST portal in case of refund. You can track your refund application. Stage wise is there. Whether the validation is done, whether the verification is done, whether the provisional order is issued, whether payment order is issued, whether refund amount is disbursed. Like that, stage wise status is there. You can check your refund application status in GST portal. You can withdraw your refund application before acknowledgement issued. You have filed refund application. After 3 or 4 days, you realize that you did a mistake. You can withdraw your refund application, provided the acknowledgement is not yet issued. The refund application is rejected by the officer, you can file an appeal in GST portal. This would be a big relief, because the manual filing of appeal would be a huge difficult. You should prepare a lot of documents. In portal, you can file appeal online. These are all the issues I just wanted to share with all of you. I hope you all are clear. Thank you all for your patience listening. If you have any queries, you can ask. Thank you.
Members, any queries from your side? Unmute yourself and you can ask the speaker. Or else you can post it in the chat box also. So, Ramesh Gar, I have one query not connected to GST refunds,
Yes,
but
sir.
connected to GST. This job work for processing of the shrimp and all for the exporters, the merchant exporters will be paying processing charges, no? That for job work, for the processing done in the manufacturer's factory.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
for that, recently the dealers are getting demands saying that it attracts 18% instead of 5% what they are charging. So
no, sir, 5%.
5% only, no? So because so many of the merchant exporters and even manufacturer exporters are getting, you have collected lesser this thing 5%, which you are supposed to collect it 18%.
Okay.
So 5% you will be confirming.
5% only, sir. Food processing.
Acha, okay. No, they say that it comes under manufacturing, so it attracts 18%. Like.
No, sir. It won't cover under manufacturing.
Okay.
That is a shrimp even before processing, after processing, shrimp is shrimp.
Yeah, mostly it will be the same only with some soaking or chemicals applying, all those things, freezing, all those things.
That process once they want to maintain.
Yeah. Okay. So any other members, any queries, please?
Sir, chat box, there is one query in the chat box.
Yeah.
Tax period is April 21st. 3B filed with the payment of IGST. Shipping bill is validated. No errors, but till date IGST refund is due from the IC gate. What can be done? What can be done?
You need to contact with the customs authorities once. We need to go to our port customs authorities. We need to ask them. Usually they want to release the fund in some cases.
Any other queries, members? Members, we are arranging vaccination facility exclusively for our chartered accountant members and their family members, and even for that matter, staff and the article students also can be included. So you please fill the Google form, which we are pulling up the number of required vaccinations by 5th tomorrow. By tomorrow, whoever are interested, whoever are requiring this vaccination facility, whether it is first dose or second dose, if it is second dose, 84 days completion is mandatory to check the first dose date, and accordingly, if applicable, second dose can be administered. And for the first dose, above 18 years of age group only, it is Covishield vaccine. So with the tie-up facility with Lions Club, we are arranging this facility exclusively for our members and family members and the staff members and article students of our members. So please avail whoever all requiring this facility and give us the details in the Google form, sending from time to time to you in the WhatsApp groups by tomorrow positively. Ramesh, I think you have clarified all the doubts in the minds of delegates attended for this webinar. So really it's a wonderful session and a lucid presentation with detailed clarifications about all the queries in the minds of members. So now I request our Secretary C.A. Prashant Kumar to propose vote of thanks.
Respected Chairman C.S. Muralikrishna Garu, learned speaker Ramesh Pathuri, senior members and other dignitaries, good evening to all. I am privileged to propose vote of thanks for this technical session on my own behalf and behalf of the members of Visakhapatnam branch. Sir, I convey my sincere thanks for accepting our invitation with a short notice and sharing your knowledge with us. Sir, your deliberations are very much useful to our members while proceeding with the refund issues. Your special focus on refund issues, duty drawback, and preventive steps for claiming refund on capital goods, frequently asked questions are excellent, sir. It is very useful to all our members. Thank you very much once again for giving your wonderful deliberations. I also extend my thanks to all the participants of this webinar for participating and got benefited out of it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Ramesh Garu, for your time and efforts for this session.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thanks.
Excellent session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.